Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sober Grind Podcast, Episode 8. My name is Austin Armstrong, and I am joined by the ever-so-amazing Pesh.
It's so awesome to be here today.
Always.
It's always great to be in your company.
Likewise, Austin. My friend. Before we jump in today's topic, ladies and gentlemen, if you have found this podcast useful, please leave a review on iTunes, Google Play, or your favorite podcast platform. We would love to hear your thoughts, or send us an email at either Austin or Pej at beginningstreatment.com. Let's jump in.
Hello.
Hi, is this Jeremy?
This is.
Hi, Jeremy. This is Austin Armstrong. How are you?
Oh, what's up, bro?
Not much. Do you have a couple of minutes? Is it a good time?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. First and foremost, thank you for doing this.
No worries.
Appreciate it. So firstly, what's your name and how long have you been sober?
My name is Jeremy Jackson, and my sobriety date is 3/2/17.
That's great. Congratulations.
Thank you, brother.
So when did you first realize that you needed to make a change in your life?
I was, gosh. Yeah, my mom says, which time? Yeah, I mean, probably around 16.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that it was not very easy for me to stop once I started,
mm-hmm.
and or flashbacks to seeing my face in the mirror in a bathroom and realizing that another month had gone by and I said I was going to stop.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
I remember a lot of those times thinking, holy crap, it's been another month and I said I was going to stop, and somehow a month of using had been in between me realizing that I said I was going to stop and then remembering, oh yeah, I haven't stopped.
Gotcha. Advice or words of encouragement for our listeners who may be struggling themselves, or maybe they have a loved one that's struggling with addiction or substance abuse?
Oh my gosh. Look, the encouragement, the motivation, the inspiration, the purpose, the just delight and joy and sheer wonder of how we ever allowed ourselves to have that crappy quality of life previously. I mean, those days are aplenty in recovery, you know. Having a sense of purpose and having a goal and being mission minded is all that I ever need, you know. Having living for others and sharing the message of hope, being a warrior for change and for the good guy team, my sponsor calls it. You know, we're on the good guy team now, and being a useful member of the good guy team is what it's all about. And if anybody out there is struggling currently, battling this disease right now, just know that we got our brothers in arms and fellow warriors just waiting for you to jump on the good guy team and come over and battle the darkness with us. It's a worthy cause. It's a worthwhile fight, and it's more rewarding than anything I've ever experienced. And I've had Lamborghinis and six packs and supermodel girlfriends. I've had it all, and what I have now in recovery is more rewarding than any of that stuff ever was.
That's incredible. I love it, man. That's all I got. Thank you.
Today we have a very exciting episode. We are talking about how to get back into recovery. Especially, what exactly do you mean by that?
Well, getting back into recovery, obviously, there's a lot of people. This is a lot easier to do the show when I'm not seeing myself in front of me. More
Good.
Comfortable. Okay, a lot of people that are in recovery. There's people I see often that have already been in recovery. They've been tickled with recovery. They've got a taste of what recovery consists of. Sometimes they've had recovery. Some of them are long-term people that have been sober for a long time. And then there's some people that come, they check out the scene, and then they go back to their old lifestyle, and before you know it, they're engulfed again. So getting back into recovery, often if a person is an addict alcoholic and they couldn't use or drink like a gentleman or a woman in the first place, and they got pushed into recovery in the first place, well, then possibly they can't really ever use or drink that way again. Once you're a pickle, you can't be a cucumber, right?
I like that. Mm-hmm.
So getting back into recovery, but it can get hard. It can be very hard. But I see it very often. A lot of people that I see that come into treatment, there's a lot of different episodes. They have come in for their third or fourth or fifth or 20th time, and getting back into recovery can be difficult, but it's not impossible.
Gotcha. So that leads into the next question of, so say someone goes through recovery, what are some of the common reasons that they would go back out or relapse?
Because addicts, alcoholics get very busy in their lives, or they come in with a lot of baggage. Mm-hmm. They got a lot going on back home. Mm-hmm. They have the job, the wife, the kids, the life. They think that they have to take care of things. Mm-hmm. They think that they don't realize that your recovery has to come first. You can, if you're not going to give all of yourself to recovery completely, you're not going to stay recovered.
Yeah. What would you say is the likeliness of, or maybe the percentage of people that go through recovery one time stay successful? Might be hard to tell.
No, I don't know about percentages. I do know that not a lot of people stay sober that are introduced to recovery. Mm-hmm. It's sad. When I was brand new, I was told something along the lines of 98% go back out and 2% stay sober. For me, and this is just something that I was told. This is by just people throwing that around in treatment and rehab. Not to say that it's true, but I did get to see over the years the reality of that. And the majority of the people that I saw that were going through all the different treatment centers I've worked in, or the sober houses and things like that, the majority of them did not stay sober. It's sad, but it's true. It's the stone cold truth.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So do you think after someone's gotten sober, maybe they relapse or they start going out again, do you think it's easier or more difficult that second time around to go through the recovery process?
It can be difficult depending on how difficult a person will make it for themselves.
Sure.
There's a lot of walls and barriers that need to be broken down, obviously. So if a person goes back into treatment, hopefully that they don't do what they did before. They do everything the opposite. They say in recovery, obviously, we have the saying that the only thing that you need to change is one thing. And what is that? Everything, right? So basically, if you're going to come back into treatment one more time, I would hope that the lights come on enough to where you think, oh, I'm back here again. If you're not caught up in the world that some people are going in and out of treatment for fun, to go clean out and then go back out again. If you're actually finding yourself having these hardships in life to where you've already been to treatment a few years back or a while back, and you weren't, you stayed sober for a while, but then you went back out over a period of time, probably because you weren't plugged into the recovery community and whatnot, then you might want to do things differently. So it's as hard as you make it.
Yeah. I guess the success rate of recovery is how much you put into it and how much you really want to recover.
Yeah.
So what makes it so difficult?
It makes it difficult because there's a lot of work to be done, and some people don't want to do the work. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people that they live in guilt and shame. Mm-hmm. They have a lot of deep-rooted issues that they have not worked through yet. There's a lot of people that have done things in their lives that they feel like they will never be forgiven for, or they don't want to look at. They know that if they have to do some deep-rooted work, that they might have to take a real look at themselves. And nobody wants to get honest with themselves when they're caught up in the abyss of addiction, right?
Yeah,
when you've ran through people's lives with no remorse and you've hurt a lot of people, that coming into recovery, it's gonna. If you've been in recovery a couple of times, you hear the lingo and you go to certain rooms and you hear people talk about recovery in a certain way. So there's going to be some amends that you have to make. Mm-hmm. There's probably some people you don't want to make amends with. There's probably people you don't want to face. And most importantly, you don't want to face yourself.
It's a big one. So, okay. So here's the pivotal question.
Yes.
Is there hope?
There's always hope.
That's good to hear.
I don't think humanity was placed on Earth to live hopelessly. I mean, I think that...
I like to think that.
Of course. That's you, because you're cynical, or maybe just morbid thoughts. I don't know. But I don't think people are meant to suffer. I really don't. I know that a lot of people suffer worldwide. But when it comes to addiction and alcoholism, why is it that people get chances to get well? That within itself is signs of hope. If there's times when you fall down and you bruise your knee and somebody comes and gives you a Band-Aid a few times, well, that somebody is giving you hope that they're trying to help you because they used to fall down and scrape their knee and now they're well and healed, or healing. But some are healed, some are recovered. So there's always hope. There's always hope as long as you don't take it to the last limit and ruin it all. There's a lot of times when there was no hope for certain people because they didn't allow themselves to get the hope.
What would you say that last limit is?
Usually, if they overdose because they just take it all the way,
gotcha.
They die. And that's the reality of it. So at that point, there's no hope for them or their souls or their bodies. Or
hopefully everyone can find some hope.
Absolutely. Always.
Yeah. So what would you suggest people do?
Become coachable and teachable.
What do you mean by that?
Stop going off of your old ideas. If you find yourself back in a treatment setting or back in the rooms of 12-step meetings, start taking direction. Find somebody that's a mentor. They say when the student is ready, the teacher will arrive. The teacher's always there. It's not like the teacher will just arrive. The teacher's always there. It's time to listen to people. If you're in a setting where there's professionals that are trying to help you, listen to the professionals. Get over yourself. Get over your ego. Start listening to other people. If the person says go right, go right. If they say go left, go left. I mean, come on, let's compare that to like your drug dealer or people that that you're hanging out with that are lower companions. If those people tell you take this pipe or take this needle and stick it in your arm, you usually say sure. You make that decision to do that. Well, in this case, it's time to make different decisions. Do you really want to stay sober? If you have the idea that I'm not living well and I need a glimmer of hope and I need help. If you actually get to the point where you ask for help, let the help be given to you.
I love that.
Yeah.
Pesh, thank you so much. Do you have any other final thoughts you'd like to add to this?
No, I do want to say that I thoroughly enjoy doing the Sober Grind podcast with you.
Likewise, my friend.
I would like for anybody that's a listener to let everybody and anybody and anybody and everybody that you know, whether they're sober or not, whether they know somebody who's sober or not, to listen to this podcast and also to ask us questions. Let us know where we're coming short. Let us know what we're doing right. Let us know what we're doing wrong. But spread the word. Let everybody know about the Sober Grind podcast. Also, I do want to talk about our Facebook page, which is Ask an Addiction Specialist. If you go up in that little bar on your Facebook page and just type in Ask an Addiction Specialist, we will always be glad to answer any questions. Whether you're suffering from addiction, have a loved one that's suffering, you can come and ask questions. We have professionals. We have people that are on that site that have long-term recovery, solid recovery, that would love to answer any questions that you have. We'll always make ourselves available to you. And then also we have our Beginnings Treatment Center Facebook page too as well. If you ever need help, don't ever hesitate to call me for help. I will always make myself readily available for you or put you in touch with the right people. My number is 949-751-7761.
I couldn't have said that better myself.
It's the coffee.
It's the coffee.
The hazelnut coffee.
That hazelnut coffee.
Makes it
Get a little bit of sugar with that caffeine in there.
No sugar. No sugar. I just go black.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. The doctor won't approve of the sugar.
Well, thank you all again for joining us on another episode of the Sober Grind podcast.
Thank you. Namaste.